Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you another indoctrinator in chief, who is, of course, in charge of quote-unquote teaching the next generation, trying to make them to be good, decent, free-thinking adults. Of course, I'm being facetious in that. That is the opposite of what we get with a lot of the CRT brigade. So we have this teacher here. Of course, she's gone on to TikTok like they all do, which is like a virtue signaling platform for them. And she is saying that in the light of everything that's been happening, she has taken down the American flag from the classroom. And not only that, she despises it. And she says, now this is the important part about this video, okay? There's many points I'm going to make after we've listened to what she's got to say. But the main crux of my argument here is this. She says to them that they can salute instead of saluting the American flag, you could salute the pride flag. That's what it's always been about, in my opinion. Why would you need someone to salute that? Why would you? You'll see what I mean. Anyway, look, let's get into this video. If you haven't yet, though, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment below, and most importantly, share this video around. If you could do those things for me, I'd be very happy, and it would be my reward for producing this informative and thoroughly entertaining video. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we will watch what this woman has to say, this teacher. The clip's 59 seconds. After that, we'll go back, start again, and we'll stop it intermittently because there's some very good points I just have to say about this. So let's check this out now.
Okay, so during third period, we have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And
that's a United
I packed
States
it away and I don't know where,
about.
and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then,
You notice how she calls the child in her class my kid.
we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around. He goes, oh, that one? Okay, so during
unbelievably smug, self-centered, just this Western entitlement that you see so many liberal women have. Look, we'll go back, watch again, and I'll stop it intermittently because there is some points I want to make, some good points, and I'll go into detail about them.
we have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words.
Okay, so far, the concept of asking them to stand, asking them whether they can stand if they want to, give the Pledge of Allegiance if they want to, if they don't want to. You could make an argument from an independent point of view that maybe that's okay, but that's about as far as it would go. Personally, I wouldn't do that. Flags exist to bind a people together. Culture exists to bind a people together. When you ditch those things and replace them with a million different whims, all based entirely on arbitrary wants and desires and demands even, then you end up in a situation where nobody actually has anything left that binds them together. Everyone's different. The modern postmodernists will celebrate this, say, oh, everyone's different. Well, that sounds great on paper, but if you have a room with 100 people and not a single person can agree on anything, how can you move forward? You can't. That's by, in my opinion, design.
totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable.
So again, this is an example of people using Rona to further ideological ideals. Build back better, wink wink. You knew it was coming. So she says that she took it down because it made her uncomfortable. What kind of moron do you have to be born in the richest country in the world, the United States, where you have everything you could ever want and hope and desire, which has came about by free market capitalism and freedom, the two things that she clearly opposes, her and hers. But what's gone on? What has happened along the way to make you uncomfortable by your own flag? If someone went in there and waved the black, saying if one of her pupils came from a war-torn country and waved the black flag of you know what, she would get all preachy and say, well, they have the right to do that, they have the right to wave that, they can believe anything they like. But if one of the homegrown pupils waved the American flag, she would get straight up and say, oh, you could make people feel uncomfortable with that. You can't do that. I question anyone who is uncomfortable or made to feel uncomfortable by the flag of their own country. And those people should not be within a million miles of a classroom. One of the very few good things that has came about since the coup is that, and they were concerned about this, the Zoom classes, the distance learning that was becoming mainstream last year. They were concerned because they knew that parents were going to see what's actually going on. And it's about time, and that was one of the only good things to come from it. And they were rightly nervous for that. Because they're teaching your children to hate their own flag.
And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet.
Of course, you've probably threw it in the bin. You probably threw it in the dustbin. So, the black flag of you know what, and the pride flag gets, quote unquote, sorry, no pun intended, pride of place on the wall. But you smirk with that grin from ear to ear. You took down the flag, the American flag, and you put it somewhere and you can't remember where because you don't care. This is the embodiment of Western entitlement. Everything's a game. What I've noticed with the left, and I've noticed this for so many years beyond measure, it's one of the earliest things I picked up on in my late teens when I became conscious of the culture war. And that was, to the left, everything's a game. They will trash your flag, your culture, everything. They will do things that will devastate entire communities. And if you call them up on it, they just smile. They've never understood that actions have consequences. They just laugh at it. It's like nothing. Because this is the group of people who fail upwards, let's be honest. They fail upwards.
But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I got.
So here she's thought to herself, yes, I've managed to outsmart a child. This is why she most likely got into the indoctrination field. I'm not going to call it teaching anymore. I'm just going to call it indoctrination, based on the countless videos we've seen of teachers who are just all carbon copies of each other, and they put ideology before the welfare of the children. Okay, so here she's about to tell you how she outsmarted a 5-year-old and took an ideological opportunity to force something onto them.
I gotta find it, like I'm working on it, I got you.
Yeah, there you go. So the child asked, this is a child in her class, like a 5-year-old, who asked about the American flag, and that's the response. Oh, don't worry, we're going to put it up, I've got you. This is disdain for the people they're meant to represent or teach. Active disdain for them. And here she is laughing because she deceived and outsmarted a 5-year-old. Wow, you're a good person. You are just so smart. You managed to outsmart and deceive a child.
In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he like looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
And there it is. The crowning aspect of the ideology that has infected the education system in many Western countries. Again, I've said, look, if you want to do things, if you're a man and you want to do things with another man behind in your bedroom, that's fine. You do that. It's not for me. You do that, right? But now they want our children to actively pledge allegiance to the pride flag. That's it. This is, how much more evidence do you need that wokeism is a religion? This was coming because for countless decades in the West, Christianity was failing. Christianity didn't know its place anymore. It wasn't strong. It wasn't robust. It allowed itself to be chipped away by these guys. And they did it. They broke it. They broke Christianity. And then you had an entire hemisphere that pretty much didn't really have a belief system anymore. In steps wokeism. It has all the aspects of a religion you could ask for, including some of the more obscure things like excommunication. You can be excommunicated from this religion, the woke religion. Inquisitions. You can be subjected to an inquisition. They will look through your comments online going back 500 years. And if they find one thing that displeases them, and remember, what displeases them today was different from yesterday, and what displeases them tomorrow will be different from today, and then they will subject you to an inquisition. They're rejecting science in favour of bunk woke's dogma. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And people have a right to be upset about this. Imagine if that was where my child went to school. I would be very angry. Very angry. She clearly holds her class in disdain. The only thing she worships is that flag. And to put that up, she felt she had to remove the United States flag. That shows you there's no reason why you can't be a part of the alphabet community and love the United States flag and love the United States. That's how far the left have took this. They've put us in a situation where you have to choose your flag or theirs. And that's their own doing. That's them doing that. We never wanted that. We never asked for it. We never asked to be forced to choose, to be segmented and pigeonholed. But that's all they're left to do. They're the kings and queens of pigeonholes. But look, I'll leave it there and rant over. It's one of those things where you think you've finally seen the left go as far as you think they'll go, and maybe over time they'll start to come back. But then they do something else that just leaves your jaw hanging wide open. And you think, what made you think this was a good idea? How many of these teachers have we seen who are just, they're like unearthly fools. The things they clearly think are important are just so far removed from what's important for the children in their class. It's up to the parents to decide on what morals they should teach their children, when, and whether they should or should not obey their heritage. Not the teacher. Teach them to write, teach them to read, do maths. Okay? Don't teach them what to think. Teach them how, if you're still capable of that. I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video around. We don't get recommended anymore. We're conservative commentators, and as such, we don't get that. So if you could do that, it would greatly help me and my motivation and my message. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.